Hi, it's Brett from brettfosterphotography.net. What I'm going to do today, guys, is just a quick edit of a photo I took tonight. I really enjoy watching people's editing videos, so hopefully this is something you guys might enjoy. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. If not, whatever. So, jumping right into it. So if you're looking at the side of my face, because this is my screen I'm looking at now, and this is my monitor that this is recording me on. So, yep, here we go. So these are the images that I shot of my car to the right, and I'm hoping that this one is going to be good. Got some nice light trails with my Panasonic GF2 and the 17mm 2.8 lens. So this is my first one I've done of these, so please excuse all my ummings and ahhings. Open with Photoshop. Now the GF2 RAW files, I shoot in RAW. The GF2 RAW files won't open in the version of Lightroom that I have, but they will open in Photoshop RAW. RAW. So it's doing that now. We saw Mad Max tonight. Fury Road. My goodness, what a movie. So good. So it's blurry as all blurriness. Let's try another one. There were a few options, and I think this one of the first ones I took might actually be a lot sharper, which is a shame because it won't have the nice blur in the background. So I could open these in Bridge, but I don't really like Bridge. No, it's blurry. It is a blurry thing. So let's grab that original one again. Part of the reason I'm doing this is I recently got into digital photography and editing digital images in a large way, and learning about raw files and all that sort of thing, and I'm amazed at what can be saved sometimes. So this is a exercise in that, if for nothing else. So I'm going to use auto. I like the warmness of our shot, but I tend to use auto as a base point. So I'm going to bring all the highlights right down, shadows right up. I went this off Serge Ramelli, Ramelli. Check him out, his photo editing stuff is amazing. This is what he does on every image. Highlights all the way down, shadows all the way up. Hold the Alt key, slider on the white till you've just got the areas that you actually want white showing. Slider on the black, go the opposite way till you just have the blacks that you want showing. Now, with car photography or photos with cars in them, you tend to actually want more black than other times, because things like tires and things like that get really weird. So I'm going to bring the shadows down a bit on this. It's too much. And I might bring the exposure down a bit like that. I'm losing the detail on the wheels there, but I don't mind that. I like how the paint glows more like that. So that's the base image. I'm just going to check the grain structure. It's not great, but it's not too bad. This photo is never really going to be used for much other than personal purposes. I might give it a little tickle of luminance. I think it needs some colour. It already has a little bit of colour noise reduction. Add a bit more sharpening. Okay. As you can see, I've got Knit Collection already loaded in Photoshop. That might be a hint. Excuse me. Now lately I am cropping my images to 16:9, a lot of them. The reason being is I like that kind of HD filmic quality that it sort of inherently gets from 16:9. Now the reason I'm bringing this all the way down here, oops, off the side of my mouse pad there, is to get rid of this ugly sign at the bottom, just here, or at the top of the image. So I'm cropping that out to where it's no longer an issue. Okay, cool. So I tend to do my editing on the images in full size. For a long time I'd crop them down to the size that I wanted for the web because I was using them on the web. Then I had someone request some images for a book and I had to go through and edit them all again. So now I edit them full size and then crop down to web size if I'm using them on the web, and then make any adjustments that are needed for specifically for web size. So now I'm opening Knit Collection, K Collection. If you don't already have it, get it, it's amazing. Google now own it, but Google owns everything. And I have a few presets set in Analog Effects Pro. Takes a while to load it up. And the great thing about most of the filters in Knit is it doesn't actually affect the base image. See what I mean by that when we come back to it. So we've got two filters here called Cars Faded. These are all presets that I've made up myself. Just to give you guys a look, the Analog Effects Pro has basically different camera types. Classic camera ones are the most pleasing to my eye. Some of them are a bit gaudy. Some of them have ugly speckles over them. You can, over on the right hand side here, you can turn the dirt and scratches off. My go-tos tend to be this classic camera 4 and 6 as starting point. 6 gives that sort of nice fade, but I'm going to go back to my custom ones. I think I really liked this one or that one. some reason they look sharper to me. It's the contrast. Well, you see me doing this weird thing. I find when I'm close and editing like this, I don't really get a feel for how the image looks. I'm looking into the image rather than at the image. So I sit back and try and look at the whole image. Quite like that. So I like that. And then I'm going to click over here on these film types, and I'm going to see if any of these I like better. Typically I quite often go with this one. Now what I do is, this was the one that was on. Do I like this one better than this one? So again, I'm sitting right back, trying to look at the image as a whole. This is a tricky one, because I like elements of both. Okay, don't like that one. So just to make sure I don't like it, I compare it with that original. No, it's too blue. Do I like this one better than that one? Maybe. Okay, do I like this one better than that one? Yes, I do. So now I'm back to out of these two. I like the warmer one. Yep, I like the warmer one. I like. Do I want to put a bit more detail description? Right there, I reckon. Yep. Now I really like that. I can just click the save button here and give it a name as a preset, which I might do actually because I quite like it. So I'm going to call it Cars Faded Warm ish. So now it's saved over here. I can compare it just quickly with the other ones that I've already done. Yeah, I like it for this image. I don't quite like what it's doing down in here. See, it's making this a bit patchy, blotchy. That's just because of the... Let's try. So if I bring the brightness up a bit on this, it's going to take that away. To the eye anyway, it doesn't actually take it away, but... So the one bummer is when you click back on it, it takes away what you've done, so you can't actually compare between the two, but yeah, I like that. So how I use those pre-saved customs is I use them as like a grade, and then each image I adjust. So you'll see here, I'll just close that. Each image I'll actually adjust the exposure as well as on top of the base grade. So maybe I should have taken that vignette out. Yep, I should have. See, so what's happened here is this back is getting muddy because there's a vignette on that filter. very obviously. So what I'm going to do now is go back to the base image, go back to Analog Effects Pro, select the one that I've just made again, turn this lens vignette off, much better, and then I need to bump the brightness there. I'm going to, because that looks good. Got this annoying little pop-up that comes up over that button every now and then. I don't know why. So now you can see, now I'll be fine, the difference without the vignette. It's heaps better. So now I'm going to zoom right in here. Going to get rid of this dude's number plate. And I'm just going to do that by blurring, actually. Maybe a bit of a smudge to start off with. So to make your arrow, see this tiny little, what do you call that, effective area, for want of a better term. You make this bigger or smaller with the keys on your keyboard. The square bracket keys. So they're just usually above your enter key, and they're the square bracket keys. The one on the left goes down in size, the one on the right goes up in size. So run a bit more. So zoom in. Don't look at how bad the pixels are this close and the colour fringing. So to zoom in, you on the keyboard you hit Control, Spacebar, and then click your mouse. To go back down, Control, Spacebar, Alt, click your mouse. So that's too big. So because when you blur something, you don't want to affect the pixels outside of the area that you're blurring. And if you go too big with your brush, that's what it's called, you will do that, and you don't want to do that. So I'm just blurring this up to make it ineligible. Sorry, smudging. Smudge tool. Now go back to the same pointer here, click on the blur tool, make that smaller, and blur it out some more. So it doesn't look so obvious that we've smudged it. It's still going to look fairly obvious. It's a shame. I actually tried to crop that car out, but the angle that I wanted, I couldn't. Blur, blur, blur. If I cared about this image, I could put a fake number plate or something on here like that. That's quite often what I do. But I don't really. And we'll do the same for my number plate. I don't really care that you guys have seen it, but this is best practice to not put your number plate on in car photos. Blur more and turn the strength up, so about 50%. This is probably pretty boring to watch. More. I'll probably fast forward this bit up a bit. Maybe not. It will take extra work. Blurring, blurring, blurring. Still kind of eligible though. Not for long. Eligible. Legible. Sorry, bad England. Still really readable, so I'm going to do some smudgy smudge as well. I make up weird words. Not legible at all. So as I did this, and as I was applying those filters, and I quite often do this, I thought it's probably going to look better black and white. And even when I'm processing something I know I want in black and white, I'll quite often use one of my color presets first. And then I go back into the link and I go into Silver FX Pro 2 on this version. Make sure you've got the level selected that you want to apply the effect to, because it copies that level. And you know what? This image might be a throwaway. I'm really not feeling it. So when you click on the compare button for Silver FX, it shows you the grayscaled version of the color image without any of the filters applied. 22 minutes already, wow. And you don't have to worry about this writing over what you've already done. So you can mess with it. And again, these are presets. No, these are my favorites. I haven't set any custom black and whites, maybe one. Which I'm not taking on this. It's my custom anyway. My presets anyway. The only two I like out of these are these two. So now I'm doing my sit back again thing. I didn't realise how often I do that today. Now I like what this top one, high structure harsh is doing down here. But I'm not so crazy about what it's doing to the car. Whereas high structure, like full dynamic harsh. So this is like a fake HDR harsh, black and white with harsh detail. It's doing the exact opposite. I like what it's doing to the car, don't like so much what it's doing to everything else. Yep, really with that one. As I said before, these are non-destructive. I'm itching my beard a lot tonight too, sorry about that. So you'll see it'll just create another layer with the black and white. So now we can go color black and white, color black and white. If this was sharp, I'd like the color. It's not sharp. interesting point on that, I'm actually doing a new photo series at the moment, which I hope I intend to turn into a quarterly magazine slash art book, and it's mostly images shot at night without a flash, and I'm finding that I think it's very, very likely that it is going to end up black and white. That's a phone stamp there, in case you didn't know what that is. And the reason being, exactly what we're seeing here. It's a bit of rust. To me, blurry images, shouldn't be, but in some situations it's better to get a blurry image than not get an image, in my opinion. And black and white blurry images, it's worse. Black and white blurry images tend to look cooler, or better. Cooler, maybe, don't know. Better, in my opinion, and I'm the one producing the book, definitely. In case there's anyone watching this wondering what the car is, I live in New Zealand, and this is completely, other than the wheels, JDM spec Toyota Corolla FXGT AE82. So out the same time as the famous True Nose AE86s, and this was actually a much more successful vehicle in their motorsports at the time. This won a lot of rallies, and we are lucky enough in New Zealand, we didn't think so back in the day, but now we do, that we had very little importation restrictions, and we, outside of Japan, have the most JDM spec cars in the world, per capita at least. And this car is super rare pretty much anywhere else in the world. We didn't even get them in Australia, which is our neighbour. You got a version of it in North America called the, what was it called? No, can't remember, sorry. But this is the actual Japanese version that they raced and rallied. And I've been lucky enough, I've wanted one forever, and I've been lucky enough to own this one since for about nearly 3 years. Yeah, and I've put those wheels on it, and other than that it's bone stock standard. A little bit of car nerd history for you. So I'm going to do some more blur on this because I can still kind of make out the digits. Okay. So that's about it. I'm not stoked with the image. I don't hate it. Yeah, if I had my monopod in the car, which was in my other car, it would have been 1,000 times, not 1,000 times, but a lot sharper. So yeah, this was the raw image edited with some basic adjustments, and that's what we ended up with. Yep. Cool. So thanks for watching. I hope you didn't hate it. 30 minutes, 31 minutes and 1 second and 3 seconds. I'm going to do more of these because I like talking to myself. I edit a lot of photos and I want content for my site. Hopefully someone will get some value from them. By the way, this is a new lens I got today for my Micro Four Thirds system. Came in the post today. Takina 25 to 50mm constant f4 Olympus OM mount. And where you have OM adapters, I've got a couple of legacy OM lenses. And I'll show you one other thing I made up today. This is a little bracket that I got from the local tip shop. They save cool things from getting dumped. My Olympus EPL3, my Wesson video light, I want to say E160, W160. I've done a video about this previously, and it fits perfectly on this little bracket. This is my 50mm Olympus OM mount 1.8, which works nicely with this. Very close focusing for 50mm. I can focus on the camera from this far away. Viewfinder, EVF, electronic stabilization with the light. Pretty great combo. So, yep, thanks for watching. Please click like, subscribe. If you hated this, let me know. Hopefully there's not too much hate. I'm just doing it and posting it. Whatever will come will come. And if you liked it, please definitely let me know. And if you're after any photography information, any photography tips, I've been a photographer for a long time, working photographer for a long time. Give me a holler, be happy to help. Now I'm just rambling, so yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Brett Foster from brettfoster.net. Cheers guys.